rewrite it. Either one.
Right. Okay. So what were your early struggles as a writer?
Just getting published and figuring out how to do it. I didn't have the internet. So
how'd you
it was
overcome that?
1992. It was 1993 when I wrote it. I didn't have anybody to guide me, and I didn't have a blueprint. So I had to figure everything out by myself, and I had to figure out how to self-publish. And then I helped other people self-publish and start a genre behind it, if people don't know that.
Right. So tell me about your, like, you know, before I move on, I want to know about like your early independent days of selling. Like, where was you moving your books? Because you know, I've seen the culture of, you know, 125th Street, dudes out there with their tables with books, you know, and you know that you've been there way before that culture came about. So how were you moving your books early on?
I started with prison sales, and out the trunk of my car. And I came to Harlem, and I started selling my books on 125th Street hand to hand, because they wouldn't put me on the tables. And a lot of instances they wouldn't let me do consignment because the book was so racy, I guess, for back then. Now it's nothing. But back then it was like, oh my God. And I was writing a lot of street stuff and street slick stuff. And
Right.
yeah, they didn't like it. And I was using bad words. And so I wasn't, you know, I had a lot of bookstores that didn't want to let me in the store. They didn't want to let me do business. I always say Russell on 125th Street, he was a street vendor, and he wouldn't put my book on the table. And if he had, I would have been next to, back then it was Eric Jerome Dickey and Elin Harris and Terry McMillan and, you know, authors like that. And, you know, so they were all published, and I wasn't published. And that was another thing, because I wasn't published by a major publisher. I wasn't being accepted by Black people, let alone white people.
Did you ever, you know, once you had your success, did you ever meet the Terry McMillans and those people?
Yeah.
And how did they accept you?
They're not very nice. They're not very nice.
All right. Well, I'm not going to
they're
get
not
you.
very nice. I think that it's well known amongst the industry that, you know, there's been all kinds of situations, I guess, where not only for myself, but even for others, you know, but it's my understanding that Terry McMillan doesn't want to sit on a panel with me, refuses to sit on a panel with me. And when she did sit on a panel with Vicky Stringer ran off and was in the bathroom crying because of how she was treated. And so it is a little rough, but you get over it.
And do you think that she feel like maybe she's above y'all because of the content that you have or that you write about, opposed to what her content is?
I have no idea what she thinks. I just know that I really don't care, and you should stop making phone calls. Don't make any phone calls when it comes to me. Don't pick up the phone anymore. I'm not having it. Don't interfere. Mind your business. Do you. You know, everybody should do them. But don't pick up the phone and start making your phone calls. And that's all I would have to say about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I deal with that, but you know, when those people in those groups, you know, they do it, you know, there's nothing you can do but, you know, keep pushing.
It's interference.
Yeah, no, it is. It's torturous.
And so be mindful of how you're treating me, and be mindful of what you're doing to my business because you need to be held accountable. It's all about accountability.
Right. Well, you know, a lot of them they throw a lot of rocks and they hide their hands. And when you say something, people will look at them like, oh, they super rich. They not thinking about you. And
No, it's not that they're
yeah,
super rich. It's that
yeah,
they're signed to major publishers, so they're protected by their bad behavior, and they can get away with doing whatever they want to do because of who they're signed to.
right. I could dig it. No matter the business, is always those
It's
people.
always so, yes, imagine that. And so the people that you look up to in this business and the people that you want to gravitate to as a woman in this business, when you approach them or when you go to them or when you try to celebrate them or when you even try to speak to them, they don't respond. I mean, all of them. I got about a list. I'm not even going to go there because some of them have passed on. I'm going to just leave it there. And I mean, from sending really, really bouquets of flowers, like just thanking them when they would be at book signings and I wouldn't be able to be there, asking them to leave an autographed book for me, sending them flowers, just all kinds of nice gestures and nothing
Right.
being responded to. So I get it. I really
Right.
do get it. But, I think that there needs to be accountability when you want to interfere in someone else's business or you want to sit there and say who you're going to sit next to and who you're not going to sit next to and deny other people opportunity. Yeah, that's what I
Right.
think.
Hey, I'm with you. I fight that fight the same way with different people, but
No, about
you
sick
know,
of them. I'm
I,
about sick
I,
of all of them, but they want to sit at my table. But let's keep moving. The house that Terry built.
Dude,
Oh shit.